for Hockeyville USA 2019.
Later, I'll have an up-to-date weather forecast, and Jillian Wormlinger will return with sports. Hi, I'm Mason Wallace.
And I'm Jillian Wormlinger, and welcome to Public Eye News. This weekend, the Upper Peninsula Environmental Coalition is hosting Celebrate the UP. The 11th annual event features keynote speaker Dave Dempsey's presentation about the 6th Great Lake, videos, live music, several speakers and panelists, and informational sessions highlighting the environment of the UP. Saturday's events are free and open to the public. And the Calumet Coliseum skated into the Kraft Hockeyville USA Top 4. Receiving $10,000 in equipment for the accomplishment, the oldest indoor rink in all of North America hopes to win the grand prize of $150,000 and to host an NHL preseason game. Voting begins Saturday, March 30th, 2019 at 7 a.m. Eastern Time and will close Sunday, March 31st, 2019 at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Eligible voters have no limit to the amount of times they can vote. Winners will be notified before April 1st, 2019.
With the current condition of Lakeshore Boulevard, the City of Marquette is looking to restructure the road completely. City Manager Mike Angeli said, quote, "It's in dire shape. It's been destroyed and damaged by winds and weather over the course of the last few decades," end quote. The multi-purpose path, mostly used for biking and walking, will also be adjusted to provide safety for the users. Currently, the city is looking to use money from other projects to pay for the changes, as well as a $2.5 million grant received from the Lake Superior Watershed Partnership. And officials are warning the public to be cautious as the snow is starting to melt, to beware of possible meth dump sites. They can emerge anywhere, especially along trails or in secluded areas of the woods. Some common things to look for are pop bottles, fuel, and tubes containing odd-colored liquids. It's always a good choice to report any suspected sites by calling 911 so local authorities can look at the scene. Officials report the number of meth sites being found is on the decline. However, the use of crystal meth in the area is on the rise.
The initials JMG were welded into USS Marinette's keel plate, standing for Michigan's 47th governor, Jennifer Granholm. For the Marinette Marine's years of shipbuilding services, the former governor was chosen by the U.S. Navy to sponsor the ship for her contribution. As Marinette made a name for itself in the littoral combat ships industry, the Navy chose to put their name on their newest multi-mission warship, LCS-25 USS Marinette. The launch of the ship is set of mid to late 2020 with trail and delivery following in 2021. And residents of Marquette filled the Peter White Public Library last night for a town hall to restore the public trust in government. Michigan's new Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson hosted the town hall, hoping to inform and get feedback on issues like government transparency. Michigan consistently ranks last in government transparency, an issue that Benson hopes to fix. Joining Benson was 109th District Representative Sarah Cambenzi, who believes transparency is necessary for legislators to do their jobs properly. Cambenzi will also be hosting town halls in all of her districts in the month of April to discuss issues like the roads and the gas tax. This break will be back with your national and international news.
I've been around the world, but there's one place I keep coming back to. This week on UTR, we're back in the UP with more stuff for you to see and do. We'll chow at a Steinhaus you'll wish was your house, embark on the Eben Ice Caves, and show you a snowmobiler's paradise. We'll even snowshoe the trails at Tequamanon. This isn't under the radar. You just gotta see.
Tonight at 9:30, Friday at 5 p.m., and Saturday night at 10:30.
Welcome back. Facebook has been charged by the federal government with high-tech housing discrimination for misusing ability to deliver ads with extreme precision to some groups and not others. The charges brought forth by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development could potentially cost the social network millions of dollars. The report says Facebook ad targeting fostered discrimination by following landlords and real estate brokers to exclude minorities such as non-Christians, immigrants, and residents of particular neighborhoods from seeing their ads for houses and apartments. Facebook has responded by saying it was surprised by the charges and said they were working to address the concerns and are taking steps to prevent discrimination. And now that Special Counsel Robert Mueller has cleared President Trump and his campaign from criminal conspiracy with Russia, the president and congressional Republicans are going after some of the people who led the investigations. During a rare public hearing, the House Intelligence Committee, Republicans took aim at the committee chairman. Nicole Killian has more details from the White House.
Prior to the inauguration,
all 9 Republicans on the House Intelligence Committee signed a letter calling for Democratic Chairman Adam Schiff to resign for repeatedly insisting there was collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia.
the findings of the special counsel conclusively refute your past and present assertions and have exposed you as having abused your position to knowingly promote false information.
But Schiff fired back, saying Robert Mueller's report may not have found criminal liability, but it does not exonerate the president. Schiff pointed to the president's son and campaign chairman accepting a meeting with Russians promising dirt on Hillary Clinton as examples of possible collusion.
But I don't think it's okay. I think it's immoral. I think it's unethical. I think it's unpatriotic. And yes, I think it's corrupt and evidence of collusion.
President Trump is also calling for Schiff's resignation and says being forced out as committee chairman isn't enough. The president tweeted this morning Congressman Adam Schiff, who spent 2 years knowingly and unlawfully lying and leaking, should be forced to resign from Congress.
In one way, you could say it's a crime what he did, because he was giving, making horrible statements that he knew were false. And frankly, I heard they should force him off the committee or off the committee chair. He should be forced out of office.
A new CBS News poll shows a third of all respondents believe Mueller cleared the president of illegal activity. 2/3 of Republicans believe it was a complete exoneration. Nicole Killian, CBS News, the White House.
Yesterday, a team of American scientists flew to the Mount Everest region to study how pollution has impacted the Himalayan mountains and glaciers that are melting due to global warming. The team was led by John Aul of Western Washington University. He plans on spending the next 2 months in the region collecting samples and studying the ice, snow, and vegetation. The team planned to share the samples, data, and studies with local university and government agencies in Nepal to compare with data the professor collected on a 2009 visit. The team plans on using instruments to reflect light off the glaciers to determine how much dirt is on the surface, which will lead to more information on the pollution levels. And Boeing is moving forward with fixes to its 737 MAX airplanes, which have been grounded worldwide since the Ethiopian Airlines crash that killed 157 people. But at a hearing with the FAA and other transportation officials, lawmakers on Capitol Hill questioned the cozy relationship airlines have with regulators. CBS's Laura Podesta is in New York with details.
Boeing says it has complete confidence in its 737 MAX airplanes.
We're working with customers and regulators around the world to restore faith in our industry.
2 deadly crashes in the past 6 months grounded the planes worldwide. An anti-stall system is suspected of playing a role in both crashes. Yesterday, 200 pilots and airline personnel met at Boeing headquarters near Seattle to learn about software changes and a new training program for pilots.
Are they too cozy?
In Washington, D.C., lawmakers expressed deep concern over the relationship between the airline industry and government regulators.
Overconfidence breeds complacency.
Acting FAA Administrator Dan Elwell defended the practice of relying on manufacturers like Boeing to help certify their own planes.
They have professional integrity is checked, everything.
The FAA promised not to rush the 737 MAX back into service. Laura Podesta, CBS News.
And stay tuned, because after this break, we'll be back with your weather and sports.
It's a symbol of power, status, and wealth. But what's a dollar really worth?
Alexander Hamilton fixed the dollar to gold.
Money is the lifeblood of a modern world.
Money is all trust.
And now, some have lost faith in it.
Wall Street, I Street, Occupy Wall Street!
Find out what's really in your wallet. Join us for In Money We Trust.
Tonight at 10 on Public TV 13.
And welcome back to Public Eye News. I'm Mason Wallace with a look at your weather. And as you can see behind me on the Academic Mall, the sun is shining and the snow is finally starting to melt, and we're able to see some of that grass. Looking into current conditions, it is currently partly cloudy with a temperature of 48 degrees with winds northwest at 15 miles per hour and a barometric pressure of 30.04 and falling. Tonight it's going to be partly cloudy with a low of 24 and winds north-northwest at 11 miles an hour. Tomorrow it's going to be again partly cloudy with a high of 38 and winds north-northeast at 6 miles an hour. And looking across the UP, we're seeing quite a bit of sun all over, and starting in the western half in Sault Ste. Marie, it is 43 degrees and partly sunny, 48 degrees in Manistee, 50 degrees down in Escanaba, and 48 and sunny down in Menominee. Looking at the eastern half of the UP, it is 48 and partly cloudy up in Iron Mountain, 41 and cloudy up in Ironwood, 42 and cloudy way up in Houghton, and back here in Marquette, it's 48 degrees and partly cloudy. Let's take a look at your week ahead. Saturday, you can expect a high of 29 with a low of 20 and cloudy. Sunday, a high of 37 with a low of 24 and mostly cloudy. And Monday, a high of 44, a low of 33 and mostly cloudy. Well, Jillian, with the snow finally melted, we're able to see some of that grass, and I guess it's in perfect time for baseball.
Right you are, Mason. It will be an early start to the baseball season as all 30 teams will be in action today. It is the second straight year every team will be playing on opening day. The unofficial beginning to the season was on Wednesday, March 20th. The Mariners and Athletics played a 2-game set in the 2019 Japan opening series at the Tokyo Dome. Last year, the Los Angeles Dodgers were favored to be the top team in the National League for a third straight year. The action will begin on the East Coast at 1:05 p.m. with the Mets and Nationals tangling in the nation's capital, with the Orioles challenging the Yankees in the Bronx. And Jordy Nelson will not be playing for the Green Bay Packers or any NFL team in 2019, as he reportedly set to retire from the league. After being released from the Oakland Raiders earlier this month, Nelson decided to call it a career instead of looking to win one more title. Nelson played in 15 of the Raiders' 16 games and recorded 63 receptions for 739 yards and 3 touchdowns. He finished third on the team in receptions, second on the team in yards, and tied for second in touchdown receptions. Nelson was a member of the Packers since he was drafted by the team in 2008. In his 9-year career, Nelson recorded 550 receptions, 7,848 yards, and 69 touchdowns. Well, Mason, the excitement for the MLB is sure rising, but I hear you have a story that's reaching some new heights.
Yeah, Julian, this man definitely is reaching some new heights. A New York City councilman has been named the tallest politician in the world. Measuring up to 6 foot 10 inches, Robert Carnegie Jr. was honored with the distinction by Guinness World Records. He applied for the title 2 years ago after someone jokingly said, "You must be the tallest politician ever." Carnegie said the height does come with many challenges, especially when buying clothing and looking for shoes. Well, Julian, there definitely is a lot happening in sports with Jordy Nelson retiring, Rob Gronkowski's retiring. I wonder who will be next.
Yeah.
Tom Brady and Ben Roethlisberger, they're still going strong.
Yeah, he's still at it.
And that's all the time today on Public Eye News, but join us again tomorrow. Thanks for watching.
The preceding program was produced in studios located in the Edgar L. Hardin Learning Resources Center by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television.